There is overwhelming international support for taking them as the basis for a political settlement. It does come close to the long-standing international consensus that the United States and Israel have barred and that I've personally been supporting for the last over 30 years. That's the road away from catastrophe towards an end to violence and towards eventual reconciliation. Either choice is within our reach. From that point on, it's up to us.
Professor Dershowitz.
We do seem to have a remarkable point of agreement. I think we both do agree that the proposals made at Taba do provide a useful basis for a peace process. Now, Taba didn't end because Israel left. Taba ended because Arafat rejected Camp David, thereby causing the election of Sharon over Barak. There was no government, essentially, that could carry out the Taba proposals, which were favored by a very, very large number of Israelis. That's why Prince Bandar said to Arafat at Camp David and at Taba, if you reject the proposals at Camp David, you're going to get Sharon instead of Barak. You're never, ever going to get a better deal. Thankfully, he was wrong. Sharon emerged as a man of courage and a man of vision. And I myself, although I never did support Sharon in the past, strongly support the efforts made by Sharon and Peres, a great, great man of peace, a man who has vision, a man who imagines the future, a man who can bring about peace in the world and peace in the Middle East. And I think the prospects for a peace based on the Taba proposals are quite realistic. I think that if this party wins the election and invites the Palestinians to the table, and the Palestinians don't again miss an opportunity to miss an opportunity, there will be a real prospect for negotiation, a real prospect for a peace based on pragmatism. One final word about the sources. Please, the other area where Professor Chomsky and I agree, check his sources. Take him at his word. Go back tonight and Google and read the sources. Read them in English, read them in whatever language you can, and then email us both as to what the sources show. And finally, in a constructive and positive way, I urge you, imagine peace. Imagine the peace dividend that will come to the world if finally a pragmatic solution based on peace comes to the Palestinian people and the Israeli people. I'm hoping for shalom, for salam, and for peace. Thank you.
Thank you. Just before we conclude, and I thank our speakers, I want to share with you in a very few seconds what I have heard tonight standing between these two scholars. The first is that in looking around this room, it is clear to me that being members of the international community to which we all belong, whether we have been to Israel or Palestine or to other conflict arenas or not, that people can care deeply about people in conflict and understand that there needs to be a way through. Secondly, as we heard from some of our questioners, the parties themselves, Israelis and Palestinians, seem to be post-disengagement and in their two election processes quickly approaching a crossroads, perhaps a tipping point where some form of acceptable solution that will involve some part of loss of the dream to both sides will make pragmatism reign. The third thing, in which I've been honored to be a part of this discussion tonight, is that academe and the scholarly community matter in this discussion. I have read a great deal of the works of both Professors Chomsky and Dershowitz, and in both of these readings, whether you agree with points of view, challenge their sources, is beside the point. What you have been treated to tonight is two individuals who have spent a lifetime thinking very, very hard about some of the most difficult problems in international public policy. And on behalf of this group here tonight, to my scholarly colleagues, I am eternally grateful. Thank you for coming.
Alan Dershowitz's book, The Case for Peace, is published by Wiley. Noam Chomsky's latest is Imperial Ambitions. For more information, visit AmericanEmpireProject.com.
You're watching Book TV, only on C-SPAN 2. Coming up at 9 a.m. Eastern, Al Franken on his latest bestseller, The Truth with Jokes. Then, Indivisible, Martha Zoller on American Values. Tonight on Book TV, conservatives debate the war in Iraq with Francis Fukuyama and William Crystal. After that, at 7 p.m. Eastern, another chance to see Alan Dershowitz and Noam Chomsky. And at 10, Lynn Cheney. Her latest history book for children is A Time for Freedom.